last thing, and I'll let you go. And I got to ask you this: anything on the Van Halen front, as far as you know?
As far as I know, nothing. There was that talk, when everybody heard about, Jason being the bass player, and I don't know, you know what I mean? All the Joe Satriani playing guitar and Alex and all that, and then I got the call from the management. I got the call from Irving Azoff. Said, hey, you want to do you and Al and the superstar, you and Mike and Al? And I said, with a superstar guitar player, I said, I'll do anything with Al and Mike and, play music with people, but it's not going to be Van Halen. There is no Van Halen. I don't care what anyone says. Wolfie is Van Halen, okay? And he doesn't want to be the Van Halen copy band, who I don't blame him. He's doing a great job on his own stuff, and it's very cool when he jams a little bit here and there. But, he's Van Halen. And if he wanted to play guitar and with Al and Mikey and myself, I would love to do that. That would be just one time for the big time. Not like, okay, let's start, go out and tour the world and make records. And no. There is no Van Halen. But to play with Al and Mike and a great guitar player and for some event, almost like the event that Dave Grohl put on, for Taylor, something like that would be fantastic. But other than that, no. Why do you think? I mean, Wolf alluded to this in an interview with Rolling Stone, and honestly, without saying it, kind of put a lot of it on Roth as to why they cannot get a tribute to Eddie together, especially when Grohl put one together in two different countries months after he died. And Wolf said in the interview, you don't know of the level of dysfunction in Van Halen, but. Okay, all that is given, and you probably know about that better than anybody else, but what I and other fans can't understand is why can't you, whatever Roth, he comes to the party, he doesn't, whatever. Why can't you, Alex, Wolf, Michael, go ahead and say, we're going to go rent the Forum one night, we're going to get a bunch of great guitar players, we're going to have a big send-off to Eddie. Where are the obstacles in everyone else doing it? I don't quite understand it. Nobody could tell me Roth controls the whole thing. There's no way. No. It just would be lame for him not to be involved, and he.
But put it on him. If he doesn't show up, let him answer those questions. Like, let's not let the whole thing sit for 5 years just because of one guy can't be wrangled. The pressure's going to be on him.
Alex Van Halen and I don't talk. I reached out to Alex. I'm going to tell you right now. I reached out to Alex again recently. Mikey had the sad thing happen with his family, and I reached out to Al. And he wouldn't return my call or my email. And so I said, you know what? Fuck it. It's not on the top of my list, my agenda. I think Eddie deserves definitely a tribute. And what Dave Grohl did for Taylor was one of the greatest events I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
In England, in London. That was the most amazing. That made Live Aid look like kid stuff, from back in the old days. And that was amazing. And Eddie deserves something like that. And the whole world would show up, and the whole world would do it. I don't know why people put it on Roth, but he's. I don't talk to Dave, and if he did it, he'd want to do it without me. I'm sure if that's part of the dysfunction that Wolfie's talking about, I'll make a statement that I don't know is true or not. But what do you want to bet that he goes? I will only do it if Hagar's not there. And if that were the case, then that's typical Roth, and that's part of the dysfunction. It's not like he controls it. It's just like he doesn't play well with others. And like I said, if Alex came to me and wanted to do it, I'm in. Absolutely. Let's go. Do it somehow. But Alex has got to stick up his ass about something with me still, and he's going to take it to his grave, I guess,
Which is odd because you made the peace with Eddie before he died.
Totally. And I don't think I made peace with Al, and I don't think I'm going to unless he reaches back out to me. I've done it about 5 times now. But I'm not trying to start a feud between the two of us. But I love the guy, and I love, what Van Halen, what we did together. When I see some of them old videos recently, someone was playing, when I was for my birthday bash down there, they were playing a lot of it on the big screen up there. And, I'd see us in 5150 doing Best of Both Worlds. And just go, that's one of the greatest, most beautiful, high-energy rock bands ever in the history on this planet, right there. And, it just breaks my heart that it'll never be again, but that's okay. But the tribute should happen. And I know Wolf would probably do a great job of it, but it's not really his responsibility either to try to wrangle up these people. He's out trying to, start a career,
right?
And he's done a great job. I mean, a great job, and I don't blame him for, like I said, not wanting to be his dad and play all the old songs with his uncle and a couple. And Mikey and a couple old singers, why would he want to do that? Nah, he don't want to do that. One time for the big time, like you said, just one time for the big time. And if Wolfie played guitar all night, that would be plenty.
Yeah, well, we can only hope somehow it happens, and I do agree with you. Alex has to take the lead on this, and whatever the issue is with you, I mean, it's just it's interesting when I've talked to Wolf about it. He's actually now deferred to Alex. He's like, everybody's talked to my uncle. And understandably, Wolf's worried about his own career. He's making a record. He's on tour. I get it.
Yeah.
But at the same token, it's hard. I don't know Alex at all, and I've never beyond a quick meeting here or there over the decades. I don't know him, so I don't know how he's wired. But the interesting thing is,
the most stubborn Taurus. He's a Taurus, and he's the most stubborn. Taurus are known for stubborn. He's a Dutch Taurus, and he is the most stubborn, hard-headed guy you'll ever meet in your life, and he is tough to get broke down and to let go. He just he's holding on to something, and I just wish he wasn't like that. I love the guy. Like I've said it a million times. Alex and I actually got along better than Ed and I at times. Through the hard times, Alex and I still got along, and but I don't know what happened. Somebody poisoned him. Somebody told him something. Maybe he still doesn't like my book, which was the most honest thing I've ever done in my life. And some people just don't think that should have been done. I guess I don't know. Well,
we know it. We know at one point they wanted to do it. We know at one point they wanted to do it. We know that it came out between
Eddie was calling
Satch and everyone.
To do it. Eddie
No. After Eddie died, the whole thing with Satriani and Newstead and you and Michael and all that. I mean, we knew there was motion for it. Irving Azoff putting it in motion. I've said that to my audience. Irving Azoff can wrangle the Eagles. How the hell can he not get this together?
Well, he wrangled it. He wrangled it with me and my manager and Mike, and then said Al's not ready. And that was a quote. But listen, that wasn't a tribute. That was a going to Vegas. I mean, that wasn't a tribute to Eddie. That was going to Vegas and being a tribute to Van Halen's music. And that was the idea of that, like doing a residency type thing. And, and I didn't agree to it to begin with. I said, a couple nights or something, sure, but I'm not going to spend, a couple months in Las Vegas doing a residency as Van Halen unless Dave is going to do it and cooperate, because it's just like him trying to do it without me. It's just unfair. We sold 46 million records, with the Van Hagar era, and and they sold another 46,000, whatever they sold, 46 million records. You can't do it one version. It's stupid. It's embarrassing for me to go out and just do one version. I mean, we even with the Circle, as you well know, Mikey sings "Ain't Talking About Love" or "Running with the Devil,"
great.
Unchained once in a while, just because I'm saying, look. It's all there is us out there doing it, and just like Wolfie going up and playing, Hot for Teacher and stuff. I mean, it's like you gotta give a little love to the whole thing now. You can't without Eddie. It's not just one side or the other. I'll sing my song.
I told you that. I think it's great. I think it's great that Michael's doing that and that moment in the show. And look, you talked about whenever you may or may not end. When you end, that's it, because you're the last guy that's doing the Hagar era stuff. I mean, hearing all those great songs, I tell my audience the only way you're ever going to hear them is go see Sammy live, because you're doing a good amount of them, and you should. And thank God you are, because when you're done, that's it.
Yeah, it's really, I'm thinking about what set I will do. It's so funny, we're going on and on now because you're getting going on the stuff that's I'm thinking about. See, the other stuff or stuff that you would think that was planned for the interview, now we're talking. Now we're discussing what's going on in my brain, what's going on in your brain, the real questions to be asked to ourselves. And the truth of the matter is like, yeah, like how am I going to go out and play most of my new record and play as many Van Halen records, Van Halen songs as I want, and play my old hits from my old catalog, and throw a Chickenfoot song in there, and get a Montrose song or two. See, I'm going to have to play for 3 hours or something. I got to figure this one out. You got me stumped. Okay, not stump Trump, not stump Trunk. We're going to stump Sammy on this one. Nah. Thank you.
Intermission. Sammy, the word is intermission. You do an hour, take a break, go back, have a little beach bar cocktail, take a breather, put up some videos on the screen, let everybody go get a drink, and then you come back. It's just like, you just take an intermission, take a break.
Yeah, okay. That's the way I have sex, but I don't know if I can play music that way. All right. All right, Ed. Love you, brother.
On that note, love you too, man. Great to talk to you, and congrats on the record. Crazy Times. It's out now. Sammy Hagar in the Circle. Just awesome, man. So good, and congrats on making such a great record. And I can't wait to see you soon, wherever it may be.
Thank you, Eddie. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Take care. The guy's the best. He's the best. I have said it a billion times over and over again. You will never in your life hear, and I don't know if it's, look, I haven't heard Sammy do a lot of interviews with other people, so I don't know how he is in those settings. But when this guy comes on with me, as he has for decades, you will never hear a more unfiltered, honest, raw, real stream of consciousness discussion from a major figure in rock than what you just heard and from that guy. It's amazing. It is amazing, and it's consistent. It's been going on forever. It's hard. Like, you don't hear people like that, major figures in their field, that unfiltered, that straight up, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with what he's saying or not. There is no bullshit. There's no, it's just totally like, there's very few people, there's a lot of, look, doing this forever, there's a lot of guys like that I know personally and have gotten to know over the decades very well. And Sammy's one of the best and one of the ones I love the most, always was. But honestly, there's a lot of them that I'll talk to privately, text, on the phone, or we're at a gig, backstage, before, after, whatever. And a lot of them will talk, it's off the record, so we're talking totally honestly. And then they'll get on the public thing and on the record and on the air or something, and it's, it's a little different. They're guarded, they're prepped. Here's what I can say, here's what I can't. Sammy's none of that. Just two dudes having a chat, and that's the same conversation if we were on the phone that you just heard on the air, and that's how he is. I said this so many times. Look, the record's called Crazy Times. I mean, a crazy thing to me is the fact that I've told this story before. When I was a kid, when I say a kid, I mean like in high school, and I was a Sammy Hagar fan, and I would watch these videos of him live and concert, and he'd be on stage and so relatable and so real. And I remember seeing the old MTV concert where there was like a car on stage, like from 81 or whatever. And I would go to see him, long before I was really established at all or known in the business. And I would always say to myself, that's like a real guy right there. Like, that guy's like me, like he's a regular dude. Of course, he's on stage playing for 10,000 people. And of course, he's got millions of dollars. I don't have that. But from the type of person he was. And it's so crazy because I swear to you, and this is going to sound ridiculous, but 81, I'm a junior in high school. And I used to think to myself when I would see videos and stuff and hear Sammy Hagar, I could be friends with that guy. I know that if I ever met that guy, he's like me. We would be buddies. And the fact that my sense of that as a 16-year-old was pretty spot on, because when I did get in the business a few years later and I did get to meet him and I did go to see him, my feeling was right. And then we did hit it off, and I'm like, I used to always think like, wait, is that a persona he puts on the air to sound like a regular guy, and off the air he's just the guy that big times everybody and isn't like a real guy? And You know, it's just him. The same guy on stage, the same guy off stage, the same guy in interviews. He just regular dude. Again, regular dude who's had a 50-plus year incredible career in music, amazingly successful in business. Sure, most regular dudes don't fly around in their own plane, but you can see it doesn't. He's just grateful for it, and he's just always going to be himself. It's pretty amazing. And I talked about at the top of the interview, one of the reasons why I talked about him stress and whether he does weed or things like that is because to still be like that and to be that good and be 75 and be able to sing that well and always seem to be so like active and good demeanor about him. It's interesting, you know, how do people do that? Some people do it through meditation. Some people do it through drugs. Just seeing something on the news where Colorado's trying to legalize mushrooms, like psychedelics. It's crazy what's going on. But some people try to do, do stuff like that. Some people are good at managing stress. Some are not. I am not at all. It's very bad. I've got to do better at it. Terrible for your health. It has a lot of implications. I mean, I'm dealing with it now. But I don't know. It's really interesting and really revealing there about where he's at in his life right now. That here we are, we sit here and we talk about, wow, you're 75 and you're still so good and you're going out and playing and what. You heard in that interview there where he is now actually feeling his age to some degree and considering how he's going to end his musical career and isn't really quite sure and is unsure of all of next year, which I have never heard that from Sammy Hagar before. Normally it's, well, I got this, I got that, I'm going here, I got that. This is the first time he's ever had that sort of tone. I don't really know. I maybe only have 50 shows if I'm lucky left in my career, and I'm going to pick my spots and spread them out. That's really interesting. Now, something tells me, knowing him like I do and knowing how much energy he still has at this age, that he'll keep plowing along. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot more to come, but kind of reflective, right? Having just turned 75 and put out this record that he loves so much and trying to navigate it all. Really, really interesting. He's the best. I mean, really, as just as a person, what you heard is what you get with that guy. All right. Thanks to Sammy Hagar. And as far as the Van Halen stuff, my gosh, I could hear and feel the internet burning up now. Because again, he's unfiltered about it. He's just honest. What a way to be. And my takeaway from all of that is he ain't going to see anything. As sad as that all is, I don't think you're getting anything as far as tribute, what have you. I just don't see that happening. It's sad, it's unfortunate, but it just seems like there are just still so many obstacles, so many disconnects with this band being Van Halen. It just seems like it's just something nobody can get together. And the other thing that came out of that's really interesting that I did not know until he said it was that whole talk about Newstead Satriani thing that leaked a year or so ago. According to Sammy, if you heard him right in what he just said, that was not going to be necessarily done as a tribute to Eddie Van Halen at all. It was going to be like remembering the music of Van Halen and a Vegas residency, which is interesting as well and puts a different little spin on that. But man, doing what I do, having people like that, Lou Gramm last week was great like that too, totally open. When you get people like that, that's the best. There's nothing worse for what I do than hearing from people with a band or affiliated with an artist, hey, don't talk about this, stay away from that, don't go there, please. No, the worst. But when you get guys like Lou last week, Sammy just now, there's none of that. Yeah, man, just fire away, whatever. Let the cards fall where they may. No walls up whatsoever. It's the best. All right, Joel's going to play a little bit of this song. You should really listen to this song in full. We're running late, so I'm not going to play the full thing now. But I mentioned a song on this record called Be Still, which Sammy said he was really happy that I picked up on. I'm shocked that he didn't write these lyrics. It's the only time did an originally released song in his career that he didn't write the lyrics to it, although he wrote the music. But the lyrics are so him and so in the pocket for what we were kind of talking about.